Hey everybody, welcome back. We're continuing our reading of the Quran, my annotations. We're in Surah 19, Maryam, and before we get started, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Number 2, Zakaria. I just underlined Zakaria. 5. But my wife is barren, so give me an heir as from thyself. Then on 6, I just underlined Jacob. And 7, Yahya. And then 10, I just underlined 3 knights. Which is interesting. Whenever I underline one word, I'm like, 17. She placed a screen to screen herself from them. Then we sent to her our angel, and he appeared before her as a man in all respects. 19. To thee the gift of a holy son. She said, how shall I have a son, seeing that no man has touched me, and I am not unchaste? He said, so it will be. Thy Lord saith that it is easy for me, and we wish to appoint him as a sign unto men, and a mercy from us. It is a matter so decreed. 23. And the pains of childbirth drove her to the trunk of a palm tree. She cried in her anguish, ah, would that I had died before this. Would that I had been a thing forgotten and out of sight. And what's really beautiful about this being included, like that birthing pain, is it's very educational because it really captures the pain that childbirth is, and a very common feeling when you're in the middle of contractions. I mean, the contractions come in waves that you literally cannot escape. And even if you do deep breathing and you're bouncing on a yoga ball and you're taking a hot shower or whatever it is you're doing to try to deal with the pain, it is immensely intense. They say it gets better as after you're on your second child, your third child, your brain kind of is more prepared, but your first child, it's like a pain you've never felt. And it's quite amazing that the mother of Jesus in the Quran is showing a very human emotion, because people, for example, like the Virgin Mary, let's say for Mexican Catholics, right, you probably are not going to hear them talk about her birthing session as that. Growing up, when we thought about the birthing process of Mary, it was that, they put Jesus in a manger, which is where the animals eat. It's like a hay box, so it was like she gave birth in a barn. That was like something that we looked at, to where if the mother of Jesus can give birth in a barn, don't feel bad if you give birth, and not the fanciest of hospital or at home even, right? Because, I mean, in the 1920s, many women gave birth at home. Still today in Mexico, many women give birth at home in the small villages. But Mexico slowly has made it to where you have to make them born in a hospital so they can get a birth certificate and such. But it is quite unique. That line from Mother Mary. I enter in 26. I enter into no talk with any human being. And then 28, O sister of Aaron. I like that. Alright. And then 49, I underlined Isaac and Jacob, and on 51, apostle and prophet, and then Moses. Because Moses was an apostle and a prophet. And what's fascinating is sometimes I forget the distinction between an apostle and a prophet. So that's beautiful that we're learning that those are not the same thing. Related, almost like synonyms, yet a degree of distinction, right? 53, his brother Aaron, also a prophet. And then 56, Idris. 63, our servants who guard against evil. Our servants who guard against evil. They're servants who are guarding against evil. 76, and Allah doth advance and guide those who seek guidance, and the things that endure. Good deeds are best in the sight of thy Lord, as rewards best in respect of their eventual returns. See, look at that. And the things that endure. That one is also very powerful because things that endure, what endures? Fame, very few, very few. The religious people, obviously, right? Moses, you have Joseph, Jesus, Abraham, Noah. People remember their names unto eternity. And then there's military generals, obviously, who get remembered because historical books cover them. But when it comes to like Hollywoodism, you're not going to be remembered. I can't name an actor from the 1920s, 30s, 40s, or 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, barely the 90s. And today, okay, yeah, could. So we have to kind of ask ourselves, are we building something that's going to endure? And, Allah is going to guide us to have something that is more enduring, which our good works will help us get something more enduring in the next life, right? Good deeds are best in the sight of thy Lord, so do good deeds. Because, see, sometimes I've had to myself, like, I get like a little mini panic attack. Like, what can I do? I don't want to go to a bad place. I want to do good. And you have to, like, okay, good deeds. And sometimes our brains make us feel like that sounds too simple. That sounds too simple. But then when we realize, like, if it was that simple, why ain't you doing it every day? And then you have to figure out more unique, dynamic ways to do goods of righteousness within various contexts and time periods, right? So we should concentrate on that. Give us a better return on our investment. 77. Hast thou then seen the sort of man who rejects our signs, yet says, I shall certainly be given wealth and children? You know what? That one, hit the nail on the head. Hit the nail on the head. Because this one is exactly the type of personality you'd meet in a very militant atheist that's very arrogant and nihilistic and pessimistic. Indeed, because many of them are famous. Many of them have a good wife, have healthy children. And within this comfort, there comes a sign of like, oh, you are superstitious if you interpret this sign. You are a backwards weirdo fanatic. Now, there are some people who do fit that description, but certain signs are undoubtedly a sign. I mean, I could give you a couple where I was just like, wow. I'll give you an easy one. Is when I got the neurolite. I looked up what causes the neurolite. I got 3 different responses. One from somebody I trust who told me Allah gives it to you because of your piety, right? I saw another article that's not an article, but like a thing I read that said it's from the doctors were saying that it comes because you when you go in prostration, the blood goes down and that circulates the blood, which makes you more bright. But I was like, if that were true every time, it would work. But also, someone else said, oh, if you simply say the prayer, you'll get the light. And I was like, no, that can't be true. But it was, and both of all those examples, I was sitting down one time reading the Quran, and then I went to look in the mirror because I had to use the restroom, and I saw the light on my face, and that was like, oh my gosh, like, it's a noticeable light. It's not like the game of, I just exfoliated my skin, I did a face clay mask, and now my skin is bright. No, this was like real. And then the other time, when I went to the mosque and I saw that guy, and he was teaching the young men, and he had the Nur light all over his face. And that's like something that's like real. That's like something real. Like, that's a real sign, because I'm like, not every Muslim has that light. And the fact that that light can come on you, and you're like, these people got light in their eyeballs and just glowing light from their face, that women who are like rich are putting blood on their faces, they're taking pills, they're trying to find every kind of way to get that glowing skin light. I mean, they used to say if you got pregnant, you'll get the glow. Yet, I've seen lots of pregnant women who are very gray and pale. So, But seeing that light to me was a huge sign to where, like, this is different than any other religion, because the Quran, like, the Muslims, let's put it this way, the Muslims talk about the Nur light, I've experienced it and I've seen it, and I've never heard any other religion talk about a light like that, nor have I seen that light on their faces. They may have had a good, pretty smile, but this light is something different. To me, that's a sign. It's like if you see, like, how can I see that light and think that that isn't real? But I know a militant atheist who is really into science would say that's something of the cells in your blood, your skin. They would give me a scientific explanation, which can make sense. Fine. Yet, I've never had that light ever in my life, and I'm not going to count like when I was 14 years old and you're hormonal and, you have the youth glow. That's quite different. This is a different glow. And it doesn't always come. And, that's to me a sign. So if you deny that, you're going to be in, I don't know what more proof do you need. It's really amazing. I hope I made myself clear on how I connect that to it, but man. I think that'd be one of the main evidences I would cite to people is the light.